What's going on, everybody? In this video, I'll be breaking down players to add and drop for week 3. Some of these players you may own, and some of these players may be available on your free agency. Before we jump into this video, make sure you check out the video description. We have so much content that we're pumping out for you guys, so make sure you hop in our Discord, check out our website, and toss us a follow on Twitter to make sure you're fully prepared for this fantasy hockey season. If you want access to our projections, our trade analyzer, and more, head over to our Patreon. The link is in the description. The first player to add for this week is Lucas Raymond of the Detroit Red Wings. One of the top prospects to watch entering this season, he started off the year with an impressive 4 goals and 7 points in just 6 games for the Wings. Raymond was sort of a speculative pick by the Red Wings after a tough season in Sweden, but as the Wings always do, they trust their instincts with European prospects and took Raymond 4th overall. The Wings are so impressed with this play that he's moved up to the top line alongside Tyler Bertuzzi and Dylan Larkin, who are both also having strong seasons. In this short sample, Raymond is showing a solid shot rate of 10.6 shots per 60, which is well above the league average, and an impressive yet inflated 4.6 points per 60. It's important to note that Raymond is getting plenty of power play time. He's second to just Moritz Seider for power play time on ice, where he's played 20 minutes and 19 seconds in the team's first 6 games. If Raymond can continue to prove that he should be in the top 6 and on the top power play unit, his upside this season is extremely high and he's definitely worth an add. Up next, we have Boone Jenner of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The most recently named captain in the NHL, Jenner is a leader on the Jackets, and this is evident through his early play. Jenner started off this season with 4 goals in his first 5 games while having 3 on the power play. It's also important to note that Jenner's playing well over 20 minutes per night right now. Jenner has added 12 shots, 4 blocks, and 7 hits, along with a crazy 64% faceoff percentage this season. His peripherals are solid, and his minutes saw a big jump from last season where he played just 18 minutes per night. Along with playing on the team's top line, Jenner's also on the top power play unit. He ranks 5th on the team for power play time on ice and 3rd for forwards and 5-on-5 time on ice. In Jenner's 9-year career, he's had 2 200 shot and 200 hit seasons and 4 seasons with over 200 hits. If he can continue to play 20 minutes per night, another 200 shot and 200 hit season is really likely. While adding some offensive upside, he can be a really valuable waiver acquisition. The final player to add for this week, and yes, I'm repeating myself from last video, is Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, if Bouchard is available, I'm sure you can make room on your team to add him. Well, maybe not an 8 or 10 team league, but anyone who's in a league with a relatively deep roster, you need to add Bouchard. The Oilers love what they see in Bouchard early. Just watch one of their games. His confidence is really high, and Edmonton's using this to their advantage. His minutes have jumped from 14.50 last season to 20 minutes and 15 seconds this season, and in Edmonton's last game, he played 24 minutes on the top pairing with Darnell Nurse. Bouchard can take over the top power play spot with Barrie's current struggles, and that upside alone can significantly boost his fantasy value. Bouchard has 3 points in his first 5 games, adding 14 shots and 28 shot attempts. He could be a diamond in the rough, but no one seems to be on him yet, justified by his sub 20% ownership on both sites. I'm telling you guys, he's worth an add right now. If he gets top power play time, he could propel your team to the top of your leagues. The first player that I would look at dropping is Tomas Hertl of the San Jose Sharks. Hertl's actually been one of the top value picks in fantasy the last few years, especially in 2018 when he broke out for 35 goals and 74 points. But similar to the Sharks, Hertl will have a bad season, follow that up with a good season, and just when you think he's primed to have another good season, he scores 20 goals and 40 points in just 80 games. With the resurgence of the Sharks this year and the emergence of some of their young prospects, Hertl's playing time is taking a pretty big hit. His minutes are down to just 17 per night, the lowest since 2015, and down nearly 2 minutes from last season. His shot production is at the lowest of his career at 7 shots per 60, while his points per 60 are also at the lowest of his career. The sample size is small, but Hertl's prime might be over, and in fantasy it's difficult to justify rostering a player with hopes that he can turn it around. Hertl is reliant on offensive production to be fantasy relevant. His hits and block numbers are pretty low, and he hasn't surpassed 15 power play points in his career. If he continues to play reduced minutes, it's going to be difficult for his offensive production to match his career averages. Now, it's important to note that in deeper leagues, Hertl can probably find a spot in your roster, but in shallow leagues, you can look to move on from Hertl and shop around on free agency. The next player you can look to drop is Joe Pavelski of the Dallas Stars. Pavelski seemed to find his game again last season at age 36, where he scored 25 goals and 51 points in just 56 games, and honestly, I was preaching so much last season to sell high on him. Pavelski is off to a pretty tough start. He scored just 1 goal and 1 assist in his first 5 games, while adding just 7 shots and 13 shot attempts. His shot rate's at the lowest of his career, and he's playing just 15 minutes per night, moving up and down the lineup. Pavelski has thrived off of power play goals in his career, and if he can't find that this season in Dallas, he's going to struggle immensely. His shooting percentage in 2020 was pretty inflated at 18%, nearly 6% higher than his career average, and at this point, Pavelski looks to just be a mediocre fantasy option with little upside. With Seguin and Radulov healthy this season, and when Robertson makes his return, there's really no spot in Dallas's top 6 for Pavelski to play. That'll do it for our must-add and must-drop players video for Week 3. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. As the Fantasy Puck community prepares you for this season, click the link in our description and check out all of our content channels to ensure that you're fully prepared for this season. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.